How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is what I'm getting up to today. These are pretty much the last remaining pieces of the desk that I've been using as my workbench to do the rest of this van build. A few little odds and ends here and there. There is one little, one little piece. I think it was the shelf that ran between them. I've got it all sort of sanded and done up with polyfill to fill the little holes. And I think I'm gonna put it as another flip up table here on the inside of the van on this side of the water station, flip up like this. So I've got another surface this way. That's facing the back of the van, but that'll come later. For now, I'm wanting to build an extended cupboard on top of this cabinet that we did last time. And I figured this was the best way to do it. These are two fairly light pieces of wood. I plan on reinforcing them at the bottom with, I don't know, whatever I have, either 1x1 or 2x2 scrap that's left. We'll fasten them to the top of the cupboard, or the cabinet, sorry. And then if I could put maybe two shelves as well, and then we'll put a little door on the front to open it. That's the plan. Right now you can probably see that they're sticking off of the cupboard, right? So they're hanging off the cupboard by that much. Instead of scoring, I think that's how you say it, scoring it to the contour of the wall, which would be the smart thing, so that they fit flush with the wall and you're utilizing the space the most. I think instead of doing that, because it's a huge pain in the butt, we'll see if I do that. I was just going to keep trimming them at the top here down until they go back, just till they're flush with the top of the cabinet. So I'll figure that out, but either I score them or I don't. I'll keep getting them down into the shape that I want them to be, and then we'll just be spray painting them gray. So that's what we're getting up to today. And the shocks should finally be arriving today, which is awesome. So I'll be getting to them soon, and I'll have a whole other video for them in terms of how to do the shocks, because it's actually quite an easy job. So yeah, let's keep working on this guy. Okay. So I've been in and out of the van a few times, taken more and more off of each piece. I just line them up on top of each other nice and even, and use the circular saw to take them down at the same time. And now they're a lot shorter than they were initially. Maybe you can tell, maybe you can't, which of course is reducing the height of the cupboard. But again, I said scoring is quite a big pain in the butt. So I've opted to not do that. And what that effectively is going to do is at the back here, it's going to leave this bit of space, which off the top of my head, I'm thinking might be perfect place to put my cell phone when I'm sleeping. So we'll see how that works out. Another reason I chose not to do the scoring is just because of the natural width of these boards, like this way. I would have lost so much. Had they been longer this way, then yeah, maybe scoring them to the contour of the wall would have made more sense. But in this case, what would have happened is I essentially would have lost all of this. So everything that way from where my finger is would have been gone. So at the top of the shelf, it would only have been like this much storage space. This way, I'll have the entire size of this panel, which I think makes the most sense to me. So I've got two that are the same size. I got lucky. I just kept going. I didn't do any specific measurements. And now it's perfectly even with this edge of the countertop. So we should be good. So I need to figure out how I'm going to do the shelves and whatnot, but I think I'll start by painting these guys. What did I say? Paint was next? Not so much. So not sure how much you could see with the time lapse that was going on, but we've got ourselves a rudimentary box now, right? It's not perfect. You can see through here. You can see through here. I don't care because we're not being picky. And this is the back. This will be pressed up against the wall of the van, right? Blown out. Matt needs a new iPhone. Anyway, I decided to use staples from the very powerful staple gun I found in my toolbox, just instead of screwing it in, because what I used for this backing and this top was leftover pieces of the subfloor, and I believe this stuff's like 1/8 of an inch thick, if I remember correctly. So yeah, now we've got the basic box. Let me see if I can Now it's too dark. There's no winning. I wonder when the day will come when Matt stops complaining about his exposure issues. But anyways, looks kind of cool with the light leaking through. Now I might paint it. I'm not 100% sure if I'll do that or if I'll put the shelves in first. But I'm thinking paint it first because I'm not going to paint the inside. Well, I will see. Yeah, I'll probably paint the whole darn thing as much as I can, depending on how much spray paint I have left. And then we'll look at the shelves, because essentially what I think I'll have to do with the shelves is the same as how I'm going to mount it to the top of the counter that's already in the van. And that is, we will create little lips, right, on either side. And then the shelves will go on top, right, and run that way. And that's the way it gets supported. So yeah, this is going a lot better than I thought. There are some little janky bits that I have to fix up before I'm gonna paint it, like here. And the biggest culprit just down there, that backing is kind of hanging lower. So again, it's such thin wood that I think I can just sand it down. This is one of those parts that you don't always see because I don't ever really film, but I'm dry fitting it in just to see how it is before I paint it and move on to the next step. Because the reason I'm doing this especially is because not so much the roof, but the back added that 1/8 distance to the back, right? So I wanted to make sure I could still sort of shove it in and make it work. And yeah, in this case, it should be malleable enough that it's not going to be that big of a deal. So the sanding worked real well. That's not the right side. Yeah, right. So it's nice and smooth now. This was all junk, but now it just feels kind of like one surface. So it'll look a little nicer once it's painted. And like I mentioned, I did use the staples, but of course, good old trademark, there's construction adhesive in there as well. I didn't construction adhesive on the top because again, it's down. If that becomes an issue, that should be a super easy fix. There's plenty of room up here to get that caulking gun with the construction adhesive and redo that if I need to, but I think we should be okay. Unfortunately, I now have to go get some more spray paint because there's none left. There might be enough over 2 bottles to do like half of one coat on this thing. So yeah, let's go get some more of that. Real quick update, haven't actually left to get the paint yet. We'll probably do that in a little bit. Still waiting for those shocks to get here. While I was waiting, gears started turning. I found some more scrap pieces of wood, and this looks like a Frankenstein disaster right now. But essentially what I've done is just made a little box on top of the cabinet. It'll be easier to see once this stuff's all off of it and it's painted. But yeah, so now I can throw stuff on the top and it'll stay there. It won't come sliding off, provided it's low enough, of course. Just another way of utilizing the most of this little piece of furniture, I guess. And then I've just been playing around with where I want my levels to be. So this is how it will mount to the cabinet, right? These will go to the sides. These will go get drilled down or well, screwed down into the top of the cupboard or the cabinet, whatever's there. And then I need another level of these about there for the shelf. So that's what I've been doing instead of painting. I did use what was left in the spray cans. That was it. So yeah. Okay, now let's go get some paint. Right. I don't think I'm going to be able to paint this while all that nonsense is on there. Okay, so while the construction adhesive on the top of that dries, I guess I won't procrastinate and we'll cut out the door. And I forgot that I put everything away. Great! 15.5 by 20. Okay, it wasn't so bad. Thought that was going to take a lot longer. I'm getting fairly decent at just cutting stuff, not necessarily straight, but quickly. So now all that is left to do is put it all together. Well, paint it and put it all together. And since watching somebody paint something is about as exciting as watching paint dry, let's just cut to me installing it in the van, shall we? Well, that was unfortunate. The time lapse turned off, so I think there's like 5 seconds of me putting this whole cabinet together, which is fine because to be fair, I did say, oh, next clip will just be me putting it in the van, but it's all painted up, it's all dried. I need to install the hardware, so I got another matching handle. These things are really easy to install, especially when you still have the door off. You can just use the handle on the opposite side to kind of mark your holes, and then you can see it's just 2 screws that hold the handle in. These clasps, so I can't remember what they're called, but this part sinks into this part, right? The little wheels here, they're under pressure with springs or something. I don't know how it's designed, but that's what keeps the door from opening on its own. I use these T-hinges. It's not pretty and it's not proper. They're actually on backwards, but I liked the look the most in terms of how it looked on the outside here. And again, it was just hardware that I had left over. And the same thing is true for the screws that I have available. So, got a little bit of a thing right there where the screws came through, and it happened a lot on the hinges. So that's okay, because I have a solution. So months and months and months ago, when I first got the van, before the build had even really started, I went over to visit Lindsay and Sadie and just catch up with Lindsay because it had been a while because of pandemic. And Sadie was running around with a whole bunch of stickers, so she actually ended up loading me up with a whole bunch here. And I meant to include them in the vlog a lot earlier than this, but I didn't find a place where I wanted them to really go in the van. So I chose these. Well, these are just Jetboil ones, which obviously, and then Lindsay just recently gave me this one, which is awesome. So this is I didn't want to put stickers all over my entire van. Who knows, that might change in time. I do have my pins in the headliner, but I'm thinking maybe for this cabinet, twofold, it can be my sticker cabinet because it seems to be a thing you're supposed to do. But also it's going to help cover up my DIY flub ups. So that's the plan for this. I'm going to cover these up. I think with these two, I think I'm going to go like this, and then this have fun, do good one's going to go up here. And then the rest of these dinosaurs, because obviously dinosaurs are the best, will just get put wherever. And I'm aware that's not a dinosaur, shush. But that's a plan for that. So I'm going to slap some of these on here, and then we will get it installed in the van. There she is, right? Hang on. I'm this close to a new iPhone, couple more days. It wasn't too bad. I got her in with a couple joints down here with construction adhesive and screws. And yeah, it doesn't look half bad. And you know what? I didn't even plan this. I didn't do any measurements. It just happened to work out. They fit perfectly. Now it's still not gonna work because of rattle and whatnot, but I thought that was kind of funny. So let's just pull those out. I'll show you here. There's just a little bit of that leftover scrap. Well, it was 2x2, roughly, not really. But spray painted that side gray and this side gray. And what you can see, this was leftover of the Cullwood. Has a big dent out of it, but construction adhesive along the bottom and the back side where it connects to the cupboard. And then screws in here to keep it secured to the lower cabinet. And then screws on the outside to keep the new cabinet attached to that brace down there. Worked out really well, and it's really sturdy. I mean, I might put a couple more screws in it just cause, right? But once that construction adhesive dries, it's gonna be rock solid. I'm not concerned. And I got this nice little cubby up here for stuff. Let's see how it works. Wallet. Oh, dang, perfect. That thing is gonna get cluttered, I can tell already. And I didn't get all the stickers on there yet, but I got these ones on, the ones that I said I would. No T-Rex down here, and of course Jetboil, because I actually do really believe in that company and the products. Well, I don't know about the company, I never met anybody there, but the products are awesome. So yeah, this is done. And that was actually a week, because I actually ended up going on the camping trip to Crimson Lake with Lindsay in between doing all of this, and that video is not quite out yet. That was the old desk that I was using as the workbench for the majority of the rest of the build in here. She's coming along good. Next up, I have to get to the power center and everything and how I'm running wires from batteries all over the place. I ordered a fuse box and circuit breakers off Amazon, and they were supposed to be here yesterday, and it got delayed, and all it says is external circumstances. So that'll get delayed, but that's okay. Yeah, so that is it for the, what I'm calling tall cupboard. Just gonna, don't even worry about it. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And remember, until the next one, just be happy, be creative, be yourselves, and most importantly, just be positive. I'll see you guys in the next one.